Hello guys, today I'm going to teach you guys CSS animation. So before we get started, we need to create a folder. Right click on your desktop, create new folder. Then let me name this folder animation. So now let's open this folder with our code editor. Right click, then open with VS Code. I'm using VS Code for my code editor. If you are using Atom, Sublime, you drag and drop your folder inside your code editor. Now my VS Code has opened already. So now you can see the name of my folder here, animation. Here we click on new file, index.html. So now let me create my CSS file, style.css. Let me go over to my HTML5. So now let me write HTML5. So here we change the title to animation. So under the title, I will link my CSS here. Link CSS, style.css. So now, inside the body, I need to add h1. Let me say, hello world. So let me go over to my live server. This will take a couple of minutes. So you can see my Chrome is loading already. Now you can see the text I write, hello world. So now I need to add an animation to this text, hello world. Let me go over to my CSS file. Make sure you have linked your CSS here. So here, let me add a body, text align, center, align items, center. So now you can see our text is on the center already. Let me go over to my CSS. Here we have h1. Margin top, let me say or let me write only margin 250 px. You can see. So now I want to add an animation to this statement here, hello world. Now I'll write a keyframe for the animation. Shift 2, which is it will show you at keyframe identifier. So here the identifier is to identify your animation name. Here we write slide in left. I want to add an animation to this statement here, that whenever we refresh our web browser, it will animate from the left to the normal position. It will slide in from the left to the normal position. So now, the two keys we use in our animation, we have from and to. From is the starting point of the animation, then to is the ending point of the animation. So now, we add transform, translates x. In graph we have x and y axis. The vertical line is the y axis, while the horizontal line is the x axis. So I want my statement, the hello world, to animate from the left to the normal position. So we use translate x. So transform translate x let me say minus 40 or 60% to translate x 0. The reason why I wrote this is because I want this hello world to start from minus 60%, which might take this word inside. The animation will begin from the minus 60% to the normal position, which is 0. Now let me add here, we have animation name, animation duration, animation time function, animation delay, animation fill mode, animation iteration count, animation direction. I'll make use of these ones. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 in number here. So I'll make use of them. I'll explain them accordingly, then write the shortcut for it. Here in our animation name, we have in our keyframe slide in left. So this is our animation name. This slide in left here is our animation name. Then copy it and paste it here. So we have added our animation name. So our animation duration is like the length of time that the animation takes to complete one cycle. It's like the slow motion of the animation. Let me add 2 seconds. So now we have animation time function. This animation time function we add ease in. Here animation delay, the seconds it will take before it will animate. Let me add 1 second. So we have animation iteration count. How many times the test will animate? Let me add only 1. So here we have animation direction. I won't use this one now. I will use it later to show you guys the work of this animation direction. So now let me go back to my web browser and refresh this page. You can see our statement hello world is already animating. If I refresh, it will take 1 second before it will animate. The reason why it's taking 1 second to animate is because we added animation delay 1 second. Assuming we add 0 here, once we refresh the page, it will animate. I hope you guys are seeing it. Once we refresh the page, it will animate. So here now in our animation duration, I added 2 seconds. Assuming I add let me say 5 seconds, you will see that it will be slow. So that animation duration is like the slow motion of the animation. So now you can see the animation is very slow. Now the iteration count is how many times the test or the statement will animate. So let me add 6. So this will animate 6 times and it will stop. You can see it have completed the cycle. The 6 times is just animated 6 times and it stopped. Let me refresh it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we achieve this using animation iteration count. So now I hope you guys have understand this animation name, animation duration, animation time function, animation delay, and animation iteration count. Now let me write reverse here. in our animation direction. Do you see what happened there? From the normal position to minus 60%. Do you see? This is the work of the animation direction. It just reversed the test from forward to reverse. It is on forward as default. You can see it's going forward. Now if I add reverse here, you can see the effect. So I hope you guys have understand this animation direction better. Now let me write the short code for all these animation code here. Now the shortcut of it, we have animation. The first one is our animation name, which is our slide in left. Make sure you use the correct spelling so that you won't make mistake along the line. If your spellings are not correct, it will not animate. So the first one here, we have our animation name, which is our slide in left. The duration, we added 2 seconds. Here we add ease in, which is our time function. Then we don't need the delay anymore. It's 0 seconds, no need of adding the delay. We have iteration count. Let me say 6 times it would count. So you can see our hello world is still animating, but it's going backward. Why? Let me check. Okay, let me delete this code either. Refresh. Okay, you can see it's going forward. I made a mistake. I thought it was going backward. So assuming I added reverse here, watch and see what will happen. So I believe you guys have understand this animation. So this is the shortcut for all this code we wrote here. So I think this one is better for programmers. Instead of writing all this code, you write it one way here. So this is our chapter 1, the slide in left. So assuming you want this test to slide from the right instead of from the left. Now let me remove this reverse here. Then let me add remove the minus 60%. It will start from the right to the normal position. So this is the work of sliding right. You add the number, it will start from the right. If you minus the number, it will start from the left. So that's the work of this translate X. So if I change this X to Y, change this one to Y, so you will see what will happen here. Are you seeing it? It is going up and down. So let me add 100% here. You can see what is happening there from the bottom to the top. So now let me add minus 100%. You see, from the top to the down. You can see the work of the minus and plus in this animation. So Y is up and down, while X is left and right. I hope you guys have understand this one. So now let's check another animation. Let me comment all these ones off. So now I'll write a keyframe again. So let me write this one, rotate. I'm going to teach you guys rotating animation. So from and to. So now you can see we have why is this error showing? Let me check. Give me a couple of minutes. Alright. Let me write trans error is still showing. Let me check up. Oh, here is the reason. So now I need to remove this. Okay. Or let me delete this code either. Delete this one. So now we have our keyframe rotate. So from and to the starting point and the ending point. Now I will write transform rotate. So angle at a point is 360 degrees. So it will start from 0, from the point, the resting point, to transform rotate 360 degree. So now I need to write animation rotate three seconds, which is the delay, like the slow motion of the animation. Linear infinite. You might be wondering why I use linear here. I will show you guys the reason. So now you can see this word is rotating now. The hello word is now rotating. So assuming I change this to easing, watch and see what is happening there. Are you seeing it? It will rotate and stop for a while, then begin to rotate, stop for a while. You can see the work of the easing in rotation. So we normally use linear during rotating animation. So let me add position absolute here. You can see. So this is how rotating animation work. So let me teach you guys something like bounce animation. Let me change this one to bounce. Bounce here is not going to be from and to again. It will be 0, let me say 20%. Transform translate y 0, 40%. Transform translate y 0, 60%. Transform translate y 20, or let me say minus 40%. 80%. Transform translate y 10%. So now let me change this one to bounce, and then we'll see the effect. You can see what is happening there. It will go up and then drop. It will go up and then drop. So this is the work of this bounce animation. So let me add 100% here again. Excuse me, sorry. 100%. Transform, translate x to be 0. Here let me add 50%. Transform, translate y to be 10%. You can see how the thing is working. It will go up and then drop immediately. So this is how bounce animation works. So let me change this 3 seconds to 5 seconds. You can see the work of this bounce animation. So I thank you guys for watching. See you in next video.